Greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome, Rotarians and guests, to the Rotary Club of Livermore. So to get us started today, I saw Loretta Caskey back there. Is Loretta there? Yeah. Hey, Loretta, would you be willing to lead us in the pledge? All right. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. So before we get too far into this, just want to remind everybody, if you are in attendance at the beautiful Robert Livermore Community Center, could you please turn your phones off while our speaker is speaking today? Thank you. If you're joining us on Zoom, welcome. If you are not speaking, please mute yourselves. And if you are speaking, please unmute yourselves. I'm going to anticipate questions at the end of our presentation today. And Zoomers, you remember the drill. Please utilize the reactions function down in the bottom right-hand corner of the Zoom screen there and raise your hand, and we will get to your questions, I promise. So with that little bit of housekeeping done, songsters, what do you got for us?
Oh, we're in trouble now. We didn't really have a song until like late last night, and then he came up with the brilliant idea.
Well, it's springtime, and in springtime, you're supposed to give your sweetheart flowers. So we're going to sing "Let Me Call You Sweetheart." So everybody gets flowers.
And you know what? We didn't sing it last week or when we had anniversary. So it goes out to those people too. Okay. So, and it goes out to my wife too. And our speaker today. Sorry, who's our speaker today? See?
There we go.
You're so sweet. Okay. Here you go. Okay. 1, 2, you know what to do? Oh, you're good. Hold on. Okay. Let me call you sweetheart.
Songsters, bringing the love. Gotta like that. Okay, thought for the day. Roland, you've got a thought you'd like to share with us. Thank you. So want to thank the folks that make these meetings possible. Our Zoom host today, Carolyn Siegfried. Thank you, Carolyn, for keeping the Zoomies in line out there. Much appreciated. Also joining us today on Zoom is our Spur reporter, Trish Monroe. Thank you, Trish. Appreciate it. Manning the AV desk today, Dennis O'Brien. Dennis, thank you. Always appreciated. I saw him in the room. Where is he? There he is, David Rounds in the back of the house. Zoom chat monitor today. And also joining us on Zoom, our Spur publisher this week, Kathy Coyle. Thank you very much, Kathy. So thank you all. At this time, I would like to welcome some folks. We've got some guests joining us today. And you want to start up here, Sheila? Roland, do you mind doing the duties? And we'll get our speaker probably.
Okay, we're going to go number 1, December Sifan. Oh, she is amazing. She went to the greatest school of all time, greatest college called Cal State East Bay. And welcome her. Then number 2, we have Sam Kang, also with the auditor's office, and he went to Occidental, a little below East Bay. And then finally, we have Milssa Wilk, and she, just so you know, it's a tight race. Please vote. It's only her running for her own office. So I think we're okay. So Milssa Wilk will be our speaker.
All right. Thank you. Welcome all of you, and thank you for joining us today. We've got some members of Rotary. Mike, who's that sitting next to you?
Pretty lady with you. Well, I didn't think I had to introduce any longer,
Sure.
but my lovely wife Anita is now a friend of Rotary.
All right, welcome, Anita. And I saw in the back of the house, another friend of Rotary there. Beth, do you want to handle the introductions or?
Mary
Welcome,
Alice,
Mary Alice.
yes, Mary Alice, a LARPD director.
All right, welcome. Thanks for joining us today. Sorry. Quick scan. I'm not seeing anybody else. How about on Zoom? Carolyn, do we have any guests joining us today? Any visiting Rotarians?
President Ken, we do not have any guests today. And if somebody could just, who's present in the room, put on chat for us who the other.
I'm going to guess no. Okay. We'll work on that. So maybe we can hear the good folks joining us on Zoom in a bit. So time for announcements. And first up, Mr. McMenamin, would you be willing to come on up? We've got some generous Rotarians we want to acknowledge. Right?
So thank you, President Ken and fellow Rotarians. Today we recognize 5 members of our club who have generously given to the Rotary Foundation of Rotary International. President-elect Splendorio, I saw him just a few minutes ago, there's Splend, is receiving his Paul Harris Fellow +3 pin. And Splend has been a Paul Harris Fellow way back since December 2004. So we welcome Splend to come up to the podium here. And it is. Do you want to say a few words? Congratulations. We also have Carol Howell. I don't know if Carol's with us. Maybe she's with us by Zoom today. And ask Carolyn Siegfried, who's our Zoom monitor today, to say a few words about why she donates to the Rotary Foundation. So Carolyn, do you want to take it away?
Sure. I just want to confirm that you're not having the feedback.
Bad
Can you
feedback.
guys hear me okay? Are you guys hearing me in the room?
Yes, we are. Just a little bit of feedback, but let's give it a try.
Okay, all right. So thank you, Pat. So the reason I give to the RI Foundation is to support the fact that Rotary is a global organization. And the little bit that I can give here from Livermore, California, helps carry out Rotary's mission throughout the world. And at the same time, through my donations to RI, money comes back locally, and we're able to support activities and organizations which are near and dear to our heart and projects locally here through our designated grants that come back through RI and the district. And some of that made such an impact for me the year that I was last year during my presidency, is that you recall we did collaborated with our other local clubs, did a global grant in response to the coronavirus pandemic. And one of those organizations was Access Community Health. Through that process, I learned much more about Access, so much so that I recently joined the board of Access and look forward to supporting them in another way. So Rotary does good throughout the world. Our donations help that continue forward and carry out. Thank you.
Thank you, past President Carolyn. Really appreciate those words. So we'll catch up with Carol Howell maybe next week. And Norman Bregman, I know, is in the audience. Norman, if you'd come up and say a few words. And Norman's receiving his Paul Harris Fellow +6 pen. And Norm's been a Paul Harris Fellow since June 2020. So I don't know how he was able to get to Paul Harris Fellow +6 in just that many months, but congratulations, Norman. Would you like to say a few words?
I have to follow Carolyn.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's a tough act. Well, I think we all know that we stand for service. And part of service is not only what we do, but what we do financially. We know the good that this does worldwide. And so I hope we're all committed to that. You know, I threw the challenge out. I haven't really talked with Pat. How many have given who haven't given before or haven't given lately? The $100 where I pledged the foundation Rotary points. And I hope I can spur you on again to remind you before Pat steps down to give. It feels good to give and it's healthy.
Thank you, Norm. Thank you. And finally, for the kicker, we have Mark Roberts, who is Paul Harris Fellow +8. And I'm sure Mark will have some wonderful words of wisdom about why he donates to the Rotary Foundation. So take it away, Mark.
You're overpromising. So the room is filled with people who've adopted a life of service as part of their meaning. And for me, working locally is where we put most of our activities, and either what we do as a vocation or an avocation. So proud to be part of this organization that does that. And Rotary International is a piece of, acting locally and impacting the world. So for me, that's just a little piece that I can do to help everybody who isn't as lucky as we are to live in this place. So I would urge you, where you can, please give.
All right. Well, thank you, Pat, and thank you, generous Rotarians. Much appreciated. So, Paul,
Yes.
are we still going to have a parade?
We are still going to have a parade, but I still need some extra help. I'm short a pickup truck. I'm short a dignitary car, and it would really be nice to have another 4 or 5 people to help with lineup. We need some lineup people to help with getting the people in the right place at the right time. So I will remind you, you can sign up online. You can sign up by calling me or emailing me. And don't forget, Wednesday the 8th, Rotary meeting at the fair, at the rodeo grounds, and breakfast on Saturday morning at the Riata on June 11th, parade day and rodeo day.
All right. Thank you. Maybe Pat, did you walk off with my notes? I'm just lost. I'm just going to follow the slides here. So Dennis, clothing drive.
I'd like to address the gentleman in the club. Okay, the guys then. Let's see, we've got a drive on with the deputy sheriffs from Alameda County who are reaching out to veterans that are coming out of Santa Rita jail. And we want to be able to put together a closet of clothes, both business and business casual clothes, to give them a second start. And we're participating in this. I highly encourage you next week, the week after, go through your closet, take the old suits you'd never wear, ties you don't wear, leave your bell bottoms. I think I mentioned that last time. And for the wives of husbands, you've been trying to get them to update their wardrobe right along. Go through their closet, take out the stuff, bag it up and bring it next week. In the back is a bin for clothes. It'll be there in the next 2 weeks. I expect that to be overfull next week. All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dennis. So, Sonia, We're gonna have some more fun, right?
Yes, we are. So I'd like to invite everybody here to join us next Wednesday, May 25th, 5 p.m. Wood Family Vineyards. And it's for prospective members. Come meet some of our newer members. We have like 10 new members and we have maybe 8 prospective. And so I'd like everybody to come and meet and mingle and welcome our new members and encourage you to bring a potential member, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, anybody. So please come.
Is the lifetime supply of M&Ms offer still on the table, or?
So anybody who brings a new member in, who joins the club, gets a lifetime supply of M&Ms.
All right. All right. Way to sweeten that offer. Nice. Okay. Just want to let everybody know about more fun Rotary stuff going on. The Rotary Club of Pleasanton, they're doing a fundraiser. I think it's Friday or Saturday. It's coming up. And I know some of you have a little gambling itch that needs to get scratched sometimes, right? If you're into Texas Hold'em, go leave your money somewhere where it's going to go do some good in the world. There's information online if you're interested in signing up for that. I encourage you to check that out. So, okay. Any other announcements? Anything I missed? Okay.
President Ken, if I could make a quick announcement from Zoom land.
Of course.
I am happy to share a save the date announcement from the past presidents. So we are not going to let President Ken escape without a demotion party. So please mark your calendars now. Maybe this is the only time you can pull out your cell phone for Wednesday, June 29th, 5:30 p.m. at Alden Lane Nursery. All members plus one guest are invited to join us. Details next week about how to buy tickets. It'll be $25 a head. Thank you. Save the date, Wednesday, June 29th, 5:30 p.m. Thanks, President Ken.
All right. Okay. If you must. So next week, you're definitely not going to want to miss this. We're getting an update from Jeff Schaefer. I don't know if you've driven by Carnegie Park recently. There's stuff happening there, right? We're kind of doing a little beautification next to where Rotary helped build a bandstand, freshening up the park. Jeff's going to give us an update on that and plans for future improvements around Carnegie Park. So you'll definitely want to be here for that. At this time, the reason we're all here today, Splen, would you like to introduce our speaker? Come on up.
All right, welcome. Milssa Wilk has served as the auditor, controller, clerk, recorder of our county since 2019 and 18. She was the first woman elected to this position in the history of Alameda County. And that by itself should be a big rousing of applause. She has over 15 years of executive financial management experience in Alameda County. She started in the auditor, controller, clerk, recorder agency in 2007 and rose through the ranks to become chief deputy auditor controller in 2014 before being elected in 2018. So what does her office do? It's responsible for controlling the county's $3.6 billion budget, which is a little bit piece of change. She implements and maintains countywide systems to ensure accurate financial record keeping and developing risk assessment and developing and audit plans to improve the governance process. The clerk recorder's office is responsible for providing copies of vital records, which I'm sure all of us, if you had to get a copy of a birth certificate or a marriage certificate, her name is stamped on there. And also recording services for all the documents when you buy your wonderful vacation home on the south side of Livermore. Got her stamp on it. And for postings of environmental impact reports. So welcome, Milssa Wilk.
Thank you so much for having me and for allowing me to talk a little bit about what our office does. So when I was elected in 2018, one of my promises was to get more out into the community so people knew what the various roles in Alameda County did, right? Everybody pays property taxes, so you should know what the treasurer, assessor, what we all do. So unfortunately, COVID hit and that kind of slowed us down. So we're back out and we did quite a few via Zoom, but now we're back out in person and we're really excited. We did Hayward Rotary, so we're really trying to get around the county. Again, I was elected in 2018. I started as the finance director for General Services Agency. I actually grew up on the East Coast. I've been in the Bay Area for about 20 years. After living in Buffalo, I moved to Las Vegas and finally found the perfect weather here. Yeah, but yeah. And so, one of the primary functions of our office, as was mentioned, is that we manage, we're the controller for the Alameda County $3.6 billion budget. We're really actively involved in the management of all of the accounting. And I'm really proud to say that Alameda County has a AAA credit rating from all 3 credit rating agencies, which is a huge benefit when we go to borrow money. Our rates are lower, saves taxpayers. So we're really focused on ensuring that we maintain that credit rating for Alameda County. And our most public facing office is the clerk recorder's office. So a little bit of the summary was given of what we do. So we do all the financial reporting for Alameda County. We pay all of our vendors about over $3 billion a year. We do that via ACH and regular checks. And we are responsible for all the financial systems within Alameda County. We have about 10,000 employees and we pay them all through my office, through our financial system. We also work with small local businesses and we help certify them so they can actually be able to do work with Alameda County and receive support to help provide services to Alameda County. We also are, if you want to go back, Sam, the Arts Commission, which is an interesting department, is in our office. It started there about 15 years ago, and it does all the public art for Alameda County. And we also do all the property tax levying and apportionment. So that's over $3 billion a year also. So a lot of people confuse what I do with what the assessor does and the treasurer. So I like to kind of lay this out. For the property tax process, we interrelate a lot. So as the clerk recorder, we record all those real property documents. Cities also do that as well to give the building permits to the assessor. The assessor is Fong Law. He was elected in 2018 alongside me. And he looks at the taxable property and determines the assessed value of the property. And then he sends it to my office and he says, well, this is the assessed value. I then apply whatever tax rates are appropriate and then add any of those special assessments or fixed charges. And typically those are your voter approved taxes. And I calculate that rate per property. And then I send it to the treasurer and he gets the dubious distinction of putting his name on all your tax bills. So it's really me who calculates all of, the amounts owed, but poor Hank Levy, who's the treasurer, gets to put his name on it. And then he collects the money and sends it back to me. And then when I get the funds back, I apportion it out to all of the special districts, schools, cities, counties, calculate the rates and send that money out to over 80 special districts. And again, including schools and cities. So the clerk recorder, we serve about 100,000 customers each year. We're the official custodian for 25 million archived records. Some of those records go back to the 1850s. And each year we record approximately 250,000 new records. And we do issue 60,000 birth, death, and marriage certificates. And I'm really proud we have 2 offices. We opened the Dublin office probably about 6 years ago. And they're now both fully open to the public. And they've been open. Dublin, we reopened in February and Oakland was open last June. So we're looking at additional spaces throughout the county. We know it's not easy to get to Oakland and we know that there's a lot more cities than Oakland in Alameda County. So we're really trying to push out into other areas. And the assessor has also joined us at the Dublin office. So he's going to have an office there. So we're really trying to bring the services out to the communities. So one of the fun things we do is we marry people. And It's really, we also do deputization. So if you want to be, if you want to marry somebody, if you want to marry family, friends, you can come in and we can deputize you to do that. And we did virtual marriages starting during the pandemic. The governor issued an executive order to allow us to do weddings on a Friday. And by Tuesday, we had done our first marriage online. And they're pretty interesting. We've married people in bed, we've married people at the beach, but it's interesting, but it allows, people to zoom in from all over the world to participate in their family and friends' weddings. But yes, it's pretty interesting. So, but it's been great. We actually were able to marry somebody who was in hospice right before they passed away. So without virtual marriages, we would never have been able to do that. So, and Senator Skinner was the one who actually officiated the ceremony. So, and that actually the governor has extended virtual marriages. So we continue to provide those. And again, we do our birth, death, marriage certificates, and then real estate record copies. And so that middle picture is on 2/22/22, we had so many people who wanted to get married that one of the staff, I cannot take credit for it at all, came up with the idea, why don't we do a mass ceremony? So that center picture, we did a mass ceremony on 2/22/22 at exactly 2:22. So we had over 50 couples who came and they brought family and friends and we did it outside. And so we accommodated everybody who wanted to get married that day. Because it's been a challenge because we do it typically via appointment to ensure safety for our staff and our customers. So that was probably the most fun event we've been able to do. So it was very cool. Perfect. And these are just some more of the services. We do FBN filings. These are some of the things that we talked about before. And this is Demetrius at our front counter, who I literally every month get an email about what a wonderful person he is. He actually paid for an Uber for one of our senior customers who came in, who was having some issues. So he's been great. But again, that office is open. We see about 10,000 customers a week in person. What surprised me during COVID, we really made an effort to put everything online. But as soon as we opened to the public, we had a line around the door. People really love to come in and they really want to interact, especially on something as important as a recording or a birth, death, marriage certificate. So there are now, so the Board of Supervisors, so Supervisor Hubbard, is working, and now Supervisor Miley, well, because they both have shared responsibility now for Livermore. They're working on issuing out about $3.1 million per district in ARPA, American Rescue Plan Act Community Needs Grants. So we're really encouraging anybody and everybody who has been impacted by the COVID pandemic, if their business has been affected, to apply for the grants. It's up to $100,000 per supervisorial district. The application process is ongoing. There's no deadline at this point until it's just until the funds run out. The applications are fairly simple and they're consistent among the districts. And I really want to promote our volunteer deputy marriage commissioner positions. So we have volunteers that marry our customers. We would never be able to do it without our volunteers. So Terry has been with us since 2017. She's married over 2,100 couples. And we really encourage, if you're interested, please give us a call or look online and join us as a volunteer commissioner. And again, our Tri-Valley office is fully open. We are closed during lunch. We have a security guard there who goes to lunch, and we are trying to work out the issue so we can make sure that we're open the entire time. But since we had just opened back up in February, we're really trying to accommodate all the customers and the staff. And that's at 7600 Dublin. And there's free parking. It's super close to BART. And people when I've been in the office who live in Oakland, they said they actually prefer to come to the Dublin office. So easy to get to. And again, the Alameda County Arts Commission is under our agency. It does all the public art for Alameda County. And we work really closely with the Oakland Vet Center. We provide a lot of programming to them, as well as families and youth through our libraries. And we have our artworks all over in the outdoor spaces. And Rachel Osayima in the front and in the bottom corner is the arts director for the Arts Commission. So Rachel has put together round 2 of Alameda County Arts Relief Grants. So same funding, the ARPA funding. Nonprofit and cultural organizations within the arts field are recommended. We're really recommending people apply for the program, and we extended it actually through May. We've gotten over 150 applications countywide. We also do the annual Alameda County Arts Leadership Program. So if you know a really powerful arts leader, we recommend that you nominate them. It recognizes 5 individuals throughout the county for their achievements and contributions towards the arts programs in the community. And that deadline is also May 20th. So a new project that we're working on, AB 1466 was passed. In some of our recording documents, there is discriminatory language. So we are looking to identify restrictive covenants. They're called restrictive covenants. We are now mandated to go through all of our 25 million archived records and locate any discriminatory language and strike it out and then re-record. So we're encouraging our community to get in touch with us if you know of any deeds, documents, property documents that have these restrictive or discriminatory language within them, to let us know, and then we will go ahead and redact that language. And you can see an example of how we redact it. We literally black it out, and then we re-record over the original. The original document stands. It's not replaced. It's not removed. It's just there's a redacted copy that goes over it. And so what we're looking at, a combination of technology. Some of our records are really old, 1850s. A lot of them are handwritten. They're really difficult. The ones that we are a little bit newer, we're trying to digitize so we can actually use sort of an OCR, optical character reading, using technology. Otherwise, we're going to be doing a lot of manual review of these documents. And again, we're really encouraging communities and businesses to reach out to us when they're aware of any of the language, any type of language within these documents. And all you have to do is send us an email. You don't have to fill a form out. So just a couple highlights. We, for the 38th year in a row, and I can't take all the credit because I haven't been there that long, but we've received the Government Finance Officers Association Achievement of Excellence for our financial records. And really the goal of that award is to make sure that not only is the information accurate, but that it's accessible and transparent to the readers and the public. We received a couple of awards during COVID for our online marriage services program and our property tax refund. So if you're going to be getting a property tax refund, you can actually look it up now online. You don't have to call. And just a little bit about our office. We have about 200 employees, 85% are BIPOC employees and 75% are women. And again, we serve about 100,000 customers annually. And I like to say, I've been there about 18 years and I pretty much hired every single person in our office. And we really strive to make sure that it's as diverse as the communities we serve within Alameda County. We've really expanded our internship programs, high school, Hayward Adult School. So we're out there promoting our agency in the county as a place to be an employee. And these are some of our online e-services. Again, we really have moved. One of our great employees said, if I can order my Starbucks ahead of time and just, pull up and pick it up, why can't I do that with my birth certificate? So we actually did that. You can order it online. You pay for it online, you walk up, show us your ID, and you can just go. So we really have tried to maintain a lot of our online programming, but also be open to the public if they want to walk in. And our 2 offices again, downtown Oakland and Dublin. And we have implemented a newsletter because we're really trying to get out not only what we do, but what the county is doing for the public. So we do a monthly newsletter. And it just talks about not only the things in our office, but also what's going on in the county. So the ARPA grants, And we had a really interesting story. Somebody left a birth certificate on a bus, and the person found it and actually called me. And then we put the two together and they actually exchanged the document. So out of that, we decided, hey, we probably need to do an article about what do you do if you lose a vital record, right? Because you could, those are easily used for fraud, identity theft. So we get a lot of our interesting stories just from the interactions we have with our customers. And this is us out in the community, and we encourage anybody to reach out to us. If you have a community group or an organization that you'd like us to come speak to, we're more than willing to do that. We love to be out here, and we're happy now that COVID is on the decline. Well, I guess it's on the rise again, but that we can be out in public though, to meet all of the communities. And that's it. And you can reach me at email. I actually have a Twitter account, thanks to Sam. Yay. And and now I'm available for any questions. And thank you so much for listening to me talk about our agency.
Again, Rotarians, if you're on Zoom, please raise your hand and we'll get to your questions. But starting here in the room, I see Mike, you've got a question.
Quite interesting. I appreciate it. There was things we didn't know, I'm sure. Something that's very topical right now, I think, is cyber theft. Is the county well into preparing and adding to cybersecurity for all these records and finances?
So our information technology department is extremely active in cybersecurity. There's been a lot of recent counties, including Contra Costa, that have had issues related to cybersecurity. So they're actively engaged with all the other counties as well as third-party vendors. They do a phishing exercise. So all of the employees are constantly being tested on phishing activity. And if you accidentally click on a test link that's really phishing, you go to a class. So they're pretty active and they take it very, very seriously. And knock on wood, we knock on wood twice, we've not had any issues. Contra Costa actually had an issue where their payroll was compromised and they had to do manual payroll for about 8,000 or 9,000 employees for 2 months. So we learned from each other's issues and mistakes.
Yes, I purchased a property last year and got a letter. I think this is the assessor's office, not your office. So, they asked for certain information, which I provided. Then I also provided some information about that may affect assessment. And it's been, I don't know, a couple months ago, and I've not heard a peep. And so the question that I have is more general than that is, when you send information off to a government office, it's a black hole, right? And so I understand that it takes time to process these things. That's not the concern. The concern is that maybe there should be some sort of a postcard immediately upon receipt that at least acknowledges the receipt, because otherwise,
you don't know if it's, can you guys mark that down? And then we'll talk to Fong and the assessors. No, you're right. I mean, I've experienced that as well, but at least an acknowledgement, we've received your documents, we're reviewing and we'll get back to you. Yeah, I absolutely understand. And you can always call. Fong is as customer service oriented as I am. And he has been there since 2018. And I think he's digitized all the records that were in paper copy, which were millions. So he's really trying to make things more accessible, but I know that they've been hit hard by a lot of increased transactions. So I'll definitely pass that on. Yeah.
You have a question.
Yes, I actually have two, hopefully really very easy questions. Why do we write our property tax check to an individual?
You don't have to. You can write it to Alameda County treasurer tax collector. That's actually what I do. You do not have to write it to him. I know it does seem weird,
thank you.
But I wouldn't want it if I were Hank. I wouldn't want people knowing who I am. Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to.
And what does BIPOC stand for?
So it's Black, Indigenous, People of Color. So we have 85% minority represented employees throughout the county and 75% women.
Beth.
Yes, a question about death certificates. My father passed away in 2008, and I was the executor in all that was going on at that time. I didn't pick up on the fact that even though he passed away in Sacramento, that the death certificate says he died in Livermore. My sister's on me to get that taken care of, so that it says accurately. So do I go to you folks in Dublin?
You know what? Why don't I get your name and number, and then we'll call. We can give you a call, and I can give you my number in case you don't hear from us, which you should hear from us today or tomorrow, just to see if it's our office or somebody at the state you might need to talk to.
Okay, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember whether it was because he died in Sacramento County, whether they issued it, the state issued it, or because I live here, it was issued by Alameda County.
Right. Okay.
But
Yeah.
we'll
No,
get
we'll
together.
definitely try to help you.
It's one of those things I've
It's
been putting
confusing.
off.
Yeah. No, good.
Thank you.
Next question. JR?
I was just wondering, what does it take to be deputized to perform a marriage?
Not much. Yeah, no, not much. You fill out a form and somebody in our office will deputize you, and you can actually, I think some people have done it online as well. You can get deputized to do a marriage, and it's fun. I actually married my sister. So yeah.
Well, so I think what Jared wanted to ask was if he could be deputized as an Elvis impersonator.
He can do
Is that
whatever you want.
possible?
Like I said, we married people in bed, people, and whatever, however you want to conduct your wedding is up to you.
So Melissa,
Mark.
I have an appointment with your office on June 10th to
Okay.
actually take advantage of the marriage certificates there. Do you offer guarantees? With that, I was sort of wondering, is there a sort of like a 10-year warranty or anything?
We do not.
Oh.
And many, many
darn.
times during weddings, we just keep our mouths shut. This is not going to work, but
You already know.
I literally was in Dublin a few weeks ago, and I was trying to say hi to one of our managers, and he was working with this couple, and they looked so miserable, and they gave me the dirtiest look, and they literally shooed me away. And I said, "What are they here for?" And he said, "A marriage license." I said, "Oh," and I just was back out there today, and he said, "Yeah, that was not good." I said, "Well, yeah, they were two peas in a pod, so maybe they'll live happily or miserably ever after. I don't know."
Any other questions for Melissa?
Okay.
Oh, I'm not seeing them. So David, if you see somebody on Zoom, can you? Oh, Jennifer Tate, you have a question for Melissa?
Yes, I sure do. So Melissa, my office sends at least a dozen deeds a week through our courier, and we are so grateful Dublin's back open again. That's so much more convenient. But I have a question of who should I reach out to, because for the last few months, almost every original deed I've sent is not being mailed to the property owner. It is being mailed back to my office, even though the return to has their specific contact information. So who should I reach out to about that?
Let me think who would be the best person. I almost want, Jennifer, can you give us your number over? Do you mind sharing it down? And I'll have Sam in December write it down. Or December, can you write down the number? Yeah, if you want to give me the number, and then I'm going to have Matt, who is our assistant controller over Clerk Recorder, give you a call, because I'm not sure if it's a Dublin office issue, or if the downtown office can handle it. So
okay, yeah. So my office is area code 925-447-0134. And my assistant Miranda would be the best person to communicate with, because she's the one who processes all the deeds for me.
okay, perfect. And again, the person I'm going to share this with is Matt Yankee. So he's the assistant controller of our Clerk Recorder.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Trish Monroe had a question.
Trish, you have a question?
No, I really didn't. I'm just really enjoying it. Great.
Good.
Any other Zoom questions? So I have a question. I'm curious about the restrictive covenants and discriminatory language, and just examples? What was going on there
You know what,
historically?
if you could you go back a couple of slides? I think the example is not great because most of the language is from before the 1950s. So the documents aren't in great condition. And then if you want to go forward one more. Okay, so the language associated with discriminatory restrictions must be covered by the government code. And so protected classes include race, anything related to race, color, religion, sex, gender, gender identity expression, national origin, marital status, ancestry, and disability. So see, if you can go back one, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to read it, but basically, limitation of occupation. Said property shall not be used or occupied by any person whose blood is not entirely that of the Caucasian race. But persons not of the Caucasian race may be kept there by a Caucasian occupied strictly in the capacity of, of such occupant. So pretty
Okay,
blatant,
there you
pretty
go.
blatant. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty blatant.
That's
And
easy to find.
That is easy to find. It is. So, yeah. And so we have about 25 million records. So we're going through all of them. We're going to start with the older documents where they're more likely to be found. But yeah, and it's a mandate. In the past, if somebody found it, they could bring it to us and then we would do it on their behalf. But we are now mandated to be proactive and find the documents. So it's a pretty big project.
Sounds like good stuff. So now, Trish, I see your hand is still up. Do you have a
Yeah,
question?
no, I just
now?
put it up because I can't not comment on this subject.
Okay.
So first of all, for anybody who wants to know more about it, I highly recommend the book Richard Rothstein's Color of Law, which discusses this in great detail. Basically these kinds of covenants, the level of discrimination that's gone on through this early part of the 20th, or before the 20th century, and then, but even beyond, is substantial. It's breathtaking. And the second thing is that as a result of covenants like this is why we are in a situation where paying attention to housing, particularly housing equity, matters a lot. So that's my pitch. Sorry to sort of grab the stage, Melissa, but there you go.
Okay. Thank you, Trish. Anything else for Melissa? Melissa, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you again.
Appreciate you
Thank you for having
taking
me.
the
I
time.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so that was a little quicker than we expected. I'm just curious, has anything good happened to any of the Rotarians lately? You know what I mean. Alan, something good happened to you? Hang on, let me, something good happened to Alan Burnham. What's going on?
Well, we got approval from the city council to paint a mural on our L Street building. It faces Anita, the old Anita's restaurant. And it's of the 5 Livermore astronauts, 4 of which worked at Lawrence Livermore, 1 of which worked at Sandia. Dennis O'Brien was actually the supervisor of one of these, Jose Hernandez. And it's going up. So if you're driving down L Street and you see 5 figures going up there, that's our building. And we're very proud to. My sister. Oh. Anyway, and so I will join the President's Club for $100.
All right. Thank you, Alan.
The mural is being done by Angie and Cola, Thomas and Dewhurst, Larry Legion, and Matt, another person. Four people out there. You'll see them in step ladders and stuff if you go out there. It's by the new city parking lot that will eventually be the hotel's lot.
All right. Thanks for sharing. Oh, anybody else have something good? Christian, what happened to you?
Everything.
All right.
Well, for the past about a month or so, my admin tendered a resignation while moving on some family changes and stuff. So, and I really I was very, very privileged that she will be there for me, for 2-3 hours a day until I find somebody. Yeah, I'm very, very gracious. And so I thank God for that. And but I needed somebody full time. I was just going crazy. And luckily for me, I found what I think is the best admin so far with years of experience. The powerful lady, really amazing. And I've known her for years. She didn't know it was my company when she applied, and it just happened to just circle around. So I just thank God that finally she just started on Monday, and what a relief. If you have an admin, respect them. I'm telling you, they are your lifeblood. You have no idea. You're pulling your head out if any of them is not there. So I've already joined the President's Club. I'm gonna do $100 to music scholarship. That's how happy I am to be free again.
All right. Congratulations, sir. Beth, what's going
That's
on?
a perfect segue. Thank you so much, Christian. And I'm not going to donate anything, but I just wanted to share, of course, because we worked with all of these music scholarship students, and I was the one who my computer collected all of their information. I was able to contact one of our students. It was actually the young man who played the piano, who accompanied his cousin on violin. We needed someone to help with the orchestra for the ballet in the pit orchestra. And I contacted him. And so now he is connected with the ballet and is playing piano in the pit orchestra. So this is one of the things. We wouldn't have known him if we had not had our music scholarships. And this is an opportunity for him to stretch his abilities to be playing as part of an orchestra in a pit. And believe me, that's going to go on all of his, future applications and that sort of thing. So it just kind of the outreach sort of thing that our music scholarships can do.
All right, nice, nice. So Carolyn, we see you out there on Zoom. What's up?
Yes, President Ken, I am excited and honored to share that the Pedrosi Foundation held its annual recognition event last night at the Bankhead Theater. And we awarded this year for $459,000 to 123 students.
Wow.
So in honor of that, I'd like to just make a $100 donation to the club.
All right, excellent. Congratulations. So Susan,
okay,
what's going on?
Well, 2 weeks ago, Brian came alone to Rotary and discovered that it was birthdays and anniversaries. And it happened that our anniversary was on that list and I was not here. So instead of going back over that, I'm going to tell you about our weekend, our few days actually celebrating that anniversary, because it turned out that our grandson was graduating from college the day before it. The day on it, he was having a party in our yard for his graduation. And so we decided that in the meantime, between the announcement here and our anniversary, we would actually go away. So we had a wonderful weekend, couple of days, 2-3 days up at Bodega Bay in a very nice lodge. And in a payment for that, I will donate $100 to my next Paul Harris.
All right, all right. Congratulations. Sounds like fun. Anybody else? 67. Wow. Brian mentioned that he and Susan had been married for 67 years. Wow. That's awesome. Congratulations. Yeah.
I'm sure it's Susan's fault.
So I just want to acknowledge something I heard today. So Pat McMenamin commented on how quickly Norm Bregman reached Paul Harris Fellow +6. And as incoming treasurer, I think that's an invaluable skill that Norm can write checks very quickly. Right? So we got the right man lined up for that position next year, right? So thank you for that. So with that, I'm going to say you're not going to want to miss next week. Definitely be here for the update on what's going on at Carnegie Park. And go out there, be kind, be safe, and we'll see you next week.